Welcome, everybody. We are live here at Greenbrier East High School. You're watching the West Virginia High School State Football Playoffs. Chapmanville versus Greenbrier East with Chris Kidd, Dwayne Williams, Darryl McCoy, and Michael Sean Waller. Guys, you guys have been with the Tigers all season, and you know it's 0-0 right now. Season starts over as you start the playoffs. That undefeated record means nothing coming in here.
Absolutely, Darryl. Even though it's such a great thing that the Tigers have done and a feather in their cap, but as you said, playoff football is back to 0-0. But they will rely on that experience, and they're going to keep this streak going and on a roll. And Chris, what better place to be in November than in a playoff football game?
Yeah, again, this is what you work for ever since you get the two-a-days in August, all the way up through the heat and all the way into the cold of November. And now both these teams have a chance to try and move on to the state quarterfinals next week against likely top seed Bridgeport, as Greenbrier East, even though with just a 6-4 mark, ended up getting the higher seed because likely strength of schedule, strength of opponent over Chapmanville, who came in 10-0, but obviously schedule not as tough as what Greenbrier faced. But I feel like if you're Chapmanville, maybe it's better for your own psyche you had to come on the road because you feel disrespected, you feel like you weren't given your due, and now you get to come into one of the biggest environments in the state to try and prove people wrong.
Exactly, Chris. We talked about it last week for bulletin board material. I think if you get comfortable with that undefeated record, you're on a streak, an amazing streak, one of the best streaks in school history. So coming in as an underdog and feel disrespected gives those coaches that ammunition to give those guys to keep them hungry. I don't think they're going to have a hard time keeping this group of kids hungry because they've shown it all season long. They haven't played down to competition. They've taken care of their jobs in the regular season, but now it's the real deal.
Well, right now, we'll get set for the playing of the national anthem. We'll step aside for a quick break as the anthem plays, as you are watching playoff football action with us right here on the D&D Sports Network.
All right, guys, we are back here at Greenbrier East as Chapmanville Tigers roll in through Greenbrier with an undefeated record under their feet, 10-0 coming in. Dwayne Williams, Chris Kidd, Darryl McCoy, Michael Sean Waller on the call. Guys, before we get started, let's thank the people that made tonight's broadcast happen. Smell My Tarts, Blessings and Blooms, Rebound Physical Therapy and Sports Performance, Cheech's Pizza, Perry Brothers Pond, Diamond Flagging Company, Aracoma Drug, Why I Care, Missy Birchfield at State Farm, Jim Mars Services, Chiefs Roadhouse, Logan Bank and Trust, Stalls Unlimited Salon, and last but not least, want to thank our good friends at Trend Services for being there for D&D Sports Network and the Chapmanville Tigers all season long. Guys, got the Greenbrier band out here ready to rock. We're 11 minutes away from kickoff.
You can feel the anticipation in the crowd, Darryl, from both sides. We see a good group from Chapmanville made the trip here. As expected, the entire town's been excited all season long. Chris and I have talked about it from the preseason about there was some buzz in the town with this team, and obviously for a good reason. And they come in on an unbelievable winning streak, but they play a very battle-tested team that's only lost to good teams this season. So it should be your classic playoff game tonight in Lewisburg.
Yeah, and I was going to say, I think you figured that there was a big crowd coming because Ashley Dalton broke out the Chapmanville van to bring up here. And, nearly got run over on the way in by the Chapmanville van as I was trying to walk in. Arlie Bush told me, get out of the road. I said, well, if you got to hit me, you got to hit me. I understand.
I got a game to call.
Yeah, but, there's been like a sense all week with these players and coaches of, the best way I could assess it just from listening to them was almost scared confidence. Mm-hmm. I know that's kind of an odd way of putting it, but it's almost like they seem like they're a little bit afraid of how well they feel like they match up in this game coming in, just kind of hearing it here and there. Like nobody came to me specifically and said, we should win by ...
Right.
But just watching the film and watching some of the things that they were doing coming into this game, they felt very good about the way they matched up, but I think you could also feel that anxiety of, well, what if we don't show up the way we know how to? Then they could maybe punish us, hurt us, because Greenbrier East got some big boys and good athletes on this side of the ball and definitely have a chance to really manhandle you at the line of scrimmage if they get the chance to.
Yeah, that's no surprise being around this team this season. These kids are great. They have that humility. They have that confidence, but they also have that humility about them that even after you've talked with them in the post-game interviews, they keep their eye on the prize. It's on the next game. There was never any talk as like, we're going to go undefeated. We're better than these teams. It was just like brick by brick. It goes to back to the mantra from Coach Zach Belcher that started a few years ago, brick by brick. And this team is the culmination of that. They started off slow last year, finished strong, lost early in the playoffs, and brick by brick they kept that mindset. And it started, I would see, post in the summer. I would talk to a lot of the players, their parents, things over the summer. You saw the work they put in. And we've seen their interactions on the sidelines, how they handle themselves from the coaches down to the players. And it's no surprise they're here with a level head on their shoulders.
Yeah, and I think that's going to be one of the biggest things coming in here tonight. Do you get off to that quick start like they've been able to in previous weeks? Do you not fall behind? Again, they've not done that at all hardly this season. So, you'll probably be able to tell where Chapmanville's at jitter-wise or butterfly-wise within the first 5-6 minutes of this game.
Yeah, guys, we're going to read a couple comments, remind everybody we are an interactive broadcast. We want to know where you're watching from and who you're rooting for in the comment section below. Chad Luska says, Peggy Lusk Toller tuning in. Barbara Fry says, watching my number 21. Tiger, Tiger, Tiger. Connie Dahl says, go Tigers. Patty Witt cheering on Evan Witt and the Tigers. Let's see. We also see Sarah Williams cheering on the Tigers. Jean Whitley says she's watching. Frank Walker says, let's go East. And then Stacy Morris says, let's go Tigers. Mikey Ward says, come on, Tigers, let's get this dub. And, guys, we want to remind everybody, Greenbrier fans, let us know if you're in the comment section. And Odell Dingus always tuning in says, let's go, Tiger, Tiger, Tiger. So, with that being said, guys, we're going to take a quick commercial break. And when we come back, Chris and Dwayne will have Chapmanville versus Greenbrier East on live as kickoff is 7 minutes away. We'll be right back.
Smokey Armstrong here from United Motorsports of Belfry. Looking for your next adventure? We've got the motorcycles, side-by-sides, and ATVs needed to take your riding to the next level. Whether you're hitting the track, enjoying the trails, exploring the open road, or seeking comfort and style, we've got you covered with trusted brands like Honda, Polaris, and Kawasaki. At United Motorsports, we're not just about selling power sports, we're passionate about helping you find the perfect ride. Our team will work with you to customize your vehicle, offer expert advice, and provide top-notch service. No matter where your adventure takes you, ready to get started? Call us at 606-237-7311 or visit www.unitedmotorsportsbelfry.com or stop by today. Your next ride is waiting.
Here at Logan Bank and Trust, we are committed to serving the needs of the Southern coalfields.
For any of your financial needs, we encourage you to stop by one of our 5 convenient locations or apply online today at lbnt.com.
Whether you choose to stop by or visit us online, our team is here to help you every step of the way.
Buying a new home, expanding your business? Choose Logan Bank and Trust. Let's bank together.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
If you got a big job to get done, don't just trust any flagging service. Call Diamond Flagging Service. Diamond Flagging Service keeps your community safe while also making sure it stays moving. Give Diamond Flagging Service a call today for their services. They also offer amazing job opportunities. Diamond Flagging Services, proud supporter of the Mountain Athletes. And we are back here at Greenbrier East High School with Dwayne Williams, Chris Kidd, Darryl McCoy, and Michael Sean Waller on the call as we got West Virginia State High School football playoffs coming at you. Chris, I'm going to let you take and let the fans see the tail of the tape here.
All right, let's take a look at it here tonight after me and Dwayne try and see if we can trip each other up real fast as we take a look at it here, the tail of the tape. Again, we mentioned the records on both sides, 10-0 for Chapmanville, 6-4 for Greenbrier East. Again, points scored this year has been a whopping 461 for the Chapmanville Tigers. Greenbrier East 284. The defense for Chapmanville has been suffocating all year long. The most they've given up in any game is 13 points. 12 was the next one to Nicholas County. Only 52 points allowed all season long with 4 shutouts in there, and only twice have opponents reached double digits against them. And you can see Greenbrier East against great competition only giving up 203 on the season. So again, you listen to those numbers, Dwayne, and obviously the schedules have been different. The only common opponent I saw that both of them have was Nicholas County, and I think it was 24-12 Chapmanville in week 2, but that was a game that was 24-0 with less than 2 minutes to go. And then Greenbrier East won 41-14, I believe, against that same Nicholas County club just a few weeks ago.
Yeah, sometimes the transferable properties don't work in common opponents, but that's what we had to go on, and Chris, that caught my attention as well. So being that Chapmanville had essentially a shutout to the last 2 minutes, those scores are fairly similar. So don't let the record from Greenbrier East fool you. They lost 4 games to some very good teams. They lost to Princeton, Bluefield, and Nitro. Of those 3 teams they lost. Very good teams, battle-tested. So you have a team in Chapmanville who hasn't trailed the entire season. You have a team in Greenbrier East who's been tested along the way. They've also had some injuries to deal with, just like Chapmanville. So we love storylines. We talk about them all the time, how these teams approach each other, and this is just a classic football story.
It is. This is such an exciting night to be a part of here in the first round of the state playoffs, and we'll try and keep you updated on other scores from around the area as we go on throughout the night. We know Mingo Central getting started in playoff action tonight. Logan over in Doddridge County getting ready to play tonight. Man against Wahama will be tomorrow. Just some of the local teams that we're around most of the time in that area. You got the Kentucky playoffs going on. I mean, just one of the best times of the year to be a football fan.
Yeah, and what a time for our fans at home to be able to tune into D&D Sports for this, because, you know, we have a good following here tonight from the Tiger faithful, but there's a lot of people who can't make a 2.5 to 3 hour drive. So, you know, it's a pleasure for us to bring it to all you the supportive fans out there, and thankful to the business to bring it to you, because there's so much going on. Like, you might be a fan here in the stands watching your team, but you can bring out your phone and check on the Kentucky scores. You can check on some other local scores. So what a night for the entire area. All these teams have worked so hard from the summer till now, and, you know, this is what they play for. You know, the regular season undefeated, regular season wins are great for every team, but this is what they start talking about in the summer.
And Greenbrier East won the toss, and they have elected to receive, which you don't see a whole lot of anymore. Most of the strategy typically goes to kicking off in order to get the ball to start the second half. But Greenbrier East, they want to try and play from in front in this game, because no one's had Chapmanville behind the 8 ball or had them trailing at any point this year, as you mentioned.
Yeah, like you said, Chris, you don't see that a lot, but you know, that's a very strong strategy, I feel, from that coaching staff, because just like we wonder, I think, you know, the only thought I have about this Chapmanville team is how are they going to react if they get behind, and it looks like Greenbrier East has that same question.
And now Greenbrier East makes their entrance here tonight in Spartan Stadium, as we are set for the 8 versus 9 matchup here in the first round of the West Virginia State playoffs. Winner will likely get the #1 seed Bridgeport next week over in Bridgeport, unless a massive upset happens there tonight. But this has been one of the more talked about games in AAA playoffs coming in, and I think everybody is really eager to see, is Chapmanville for real, or have they just been a product of their schedule?
Yeah, I agree, Chris. I think this has to be on the tops of, you know, a lot of outsiders looking in, possible opponents looking in, because these teams are evenly matched. It's that 8-9 seed, so they want to see if Chapmanville's for real. A lot of people have only seen, you know, their record. They've received some criticism over their schedule, and we've touched on that, how that was definitely not their fault, being a late addition to AAA after their schedule was set. But this is why football is fantastic. You have a game, one game to do it. Anything can happen, and you settled on the field. You don't have to talk about your record, but they've done their job taking care of the teams in front of them.
Now all the talk is over, and we are set for football here on this becoming chilly Friday night. And if you hear the wind whipping through our microphones again, we are high above Spartan Stadium here at the tippy top, with probably one of the best views you could have in the state of West Virginia.
Oh, definitely, Chris. That's the first thing I had to snap a pic and, you know, just talk about the view. Being a football fan in general, just, you know, Friday night playoff high school football, teams are fired up, even matchup, and we got the best seat in the house.
Well, before we get into this, me and Dwain's already told our predictions. Chris Kidd, what's your predictions tonight? Mine was 28-13 Tigers. Dwayne's was what?
33-27.
What's yours, Chris?
I'm going to say Chapmanville 34, Greenbrier East 13.
There we go.
So now all the talk and all our predictions are over. It's time to settle it in 48 minutes here on the field. It's Chapmanville. It's Greenbrier East. It's the state playoffs, and we're here on D&D Sports as McClanahan will send a squibber down inside the 20, fielded there by the Spartans, out across the 25-30, 35-40, into open field, down the sideline, and he is gone. A touchdown for the Spartans as Nate Suttle takes it all the way to the house on the opening kickoff, and a flag comes out. On the very end of it, it looked like after the touchdown was made. And I think you're going to get a sideline warning here against Greenbrier East, but boy, oh boy, was that the last thing you wanted if you're Chapmanville.
Chris, we talked about a fast start. Obviously, that was in their plan. We didn't expect a fast start to this nature. Unbelievable start, unbelievable play, and that's one of their players they mentioned in the lead up to this. We see how explosive. Now we're going to see how the Tigers are going to react.
Yeah, this is one of the first times of the year that the Tigers are being punched in the mouth, especially right out the gate. So how do they respond?
I think it might be the first time they've trailed all season.
Yep.
And this, if anything's going to rattle you, Giving up a opening kickoff touchdown at the first second of a playoff game will test your mettle more than anything. Unreal start to this game.
Yeah, again, it kind of takes you back to Super Bowl 41 whenever Devin Hester had that kickoff return against the Colts to start the game. And you felt like that was going to really rattle Indy, and it did for about a quarter and a half where they finally got it together. But now Chapmanville, they're doing it in hostile territory, and they're going to have to get regrouped here in a hurry after that 83-yard kickoff return for a touchdown by Suttle as the extra point is up, and it is no good, off to the left. So it is a 6-0 lead for Greenbrier East, just 13 seconds gone in the first. We'll be back after this as you're watching the high school football playoffs right here on the D&D Sports Network.
Back here at Greenbrier East High School, Chris Kidd, Dwayne Williams, Darryl McCoy on the call, guys. You're watching the D&D Sports Network, the Mountain's #1 source for sporting news. Greenbrier jumps out with a kick return, opening kickoff to make it 6-0, guys. Chapmanville, one of the first times they've trailed all year.
What better way to prove you're the real deal is to open up the game immediately and be down by 6 points. See how they handle it. Dakota Dalton and company has been cool, calm, and collective all season long. It's time to show it in the playoffs.
And now the sophomore will get the football after a great regular season and a lot of pressure on here after that touchdown by the Spartans as Adkins will bring it out across the 30. And he'll be swallowed up at about the 32-yard line, and Chapmanville will open up there on their first offensive possession.
Great coverage there by Caden Stone and company. And we saw the touchdown run back by Nate Suttle. And doing a little bit of reading on this team, Caden Stone and Nate Suttle, they go by Suttle and Stone. They love that nickname around here, seems like. So it sounds like a law firm, but they got they kicked the law into gear immediately when this game started.
I was about to say, how much they charge an hour?
Yeah, nothing subtle about them.
Absolutely.
Well, now Chapmanville comes out for their first snap. Heavy receiver set here, 4 to the top, 1 to the bottom as they'll go quick wide receiver screen out to Ward. Ward tries to split between a few defenders, able to get a few yards out to about the 37-yard line, so pick up a 3 on first down.
We haven't seen that screen look a lot this season with 4 to the top side. I really like that because you get single coverage on the bottom of your screen there with Austin Aggins, but very well scouted and a lot of film work done there by Greenbrier East because anytime you keep Trey Ward to 2 yards or less, that's a victory in your book.
Yeah, and if you're Chapmanville, you're going to start to try and notice quickly where is the one-on-one at. And if they isolate Adkins tonight, it'll be a big job to try and keep him covered up all evening as Dalton keeps it on a quarterback keeper. Not a whole lot there as he's driven back as he got out to the 40-yard line for a pickup of about 2. It'll be 3rd and 4.
Yeah, trying to make the third down more manageable there. Not a bad idea, but a nice job by the Greenbrier East front. You know, Chapmanville's offensive line led by Jackson Topping and Dawson Aggins and company, have dominated all season long. Let's see how they respond by not being able to just bully over their opponents the entire game.
13 seniors on this Chapmanville roster, only one of them on the offensive line, though, for the Tigers, and they've been superb all year. But now a crucial 3rd and 4 here on Chapmanville's first drive of the game, trailing 6-0. Fumbled in the backfield. Dalton picks it up, now releases it, gets it over to Adkins, and Adkins is going to get the first down. Wow, what a job of keeping poised on that play by Dalton and the rest of the gang.
I called Dakota Dalton calm, cool, and collective, and you see why, especially for a sophomore. That's why you always have that option. I love the read option with an option to throw out wide to your wide receiver. Austin Aggins stayed in his position. Dakota, that ball bounced right back to him. He knew his receiver was converted for the first down. Very nice play by the sophomore quarterback.
Guys, Dakota Dalton's built quite the name for himself. On the way up here, we stopped at a gas station halfway point, and they was talking. They said, what about that quarterback at Chapmanville? Chapmanville, so it just tells you the name that he's built throughout the first 10 weeks of the season.
Oh, yeah, the talk is not just Chapmanville or Logan County. It's statewide talk.
And Preston Kovac got the run there for about 7 yards, and then flags come flying everywhere as a lot of jawing and talking after the play. And Chapmanville felt pretty confident that this is going to go against Greenbrier East. So we could have offsetting penalties, but let's see what we've got here. I didn't really see a late hit per se on that, but definitely a lot of in your face from both sides after that play was done.
Playoff intensity. It looks like they are.
Dead ball. Personal foul. Defense number 60. 15-yard penalty. First down.
Definitely not what you want as a coach to see your defense. You know, you got to lead. You don't want to give this Chapmanville team any free yards at all. But the play before we saw the laundry was we saw the little screen pass to Austin Aggins. He faked that, handed it off to Kovac, and we saw a nice, tough run. Obviously, some shenanigans after the play. We'll see how both teams respond after that.
They call Harrison Smith on the personal foul, so evidently a late hit after the play.
Harrison Smith, fans of Notre Dame and Minnesota Vikings definitely love that name.
Yeah. On first down, they'll give it off to Kovac. Here goes the People's running back down to the 20, and Kovac, with that injury a few weeks ago, now trying to get healthy at the right time, and he's looked pretty good on these first 2 runs.
Preston Kovac, you know, anytime, you know, an explosive, big, bruising running back has a lower leg injury, you know it's concerning, but they have nursed him. They have held him back a bit to get him ready for this. Nice first down run.
It'll be 2nd and inches now for Chapmanville, again trailing at 6-0 after that 83-yard kickoff return to start the game. Just a jolt of lightning from the Spartans to get this game started. They'll bring Kovac back into the backfield here. They'll give it off to the big bruiser. He'll pound forward, and he'll have the first down after a pickup of 2, close to 3.
As you can see, the Tigers are just sticking with their game plan. They're not panicking at all, putting together a nice drive, nice answer after falling behind for the first time this season. And, you know, they're in the red zone. They can score from so many different ways. They get the calls from the sideline. It's almost like a modified hurry up. They get there, take a look, get the call from offensive coordinator James Barker, and it puts a stress on the defense when you have to guard literally every man on this field.
Dalton will operate out of the shotgun. 3 receivers to the top. They'll go back to Kovac again. He breaks free inside the 15, runs over a man at the 10, and he'll be close to another first down as he is really taking it to this Greenbrier East front right now on these first 3 carries.
The offensive line, you know, they're taking control. We talked about how they would respond, you know, seeing some good competition and some pushback, but nice pushback. Push there by the entire line, especially center Levi Robinson was downfield. But, you know, the initial contact happened just beyond the line of scrimmage. But we've seen it all year with Preston, just, you know, being that bull, being that Mike Allstott type runner.
Now a 2nd and 1 here, 2nd less than 1 for Chapmanville inside the 10. They've got everything available to them on this play. They'll go to Kovac again. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. And Kovac rumbles down to the 1-yard line, and a chance for Chapmanville to tie it up now.
We've seen this play all year long on that left side, running behind Dawson Aggins and David Browning. More of the same. I wouldn't be shocked if they do it here, or might see Dakota Dalton pull this and go around the right here, Chris.
Again, we've seen Dalton do that several times in the last couple of weeks, but they'll go back to Kovac, and he plunges into the end zone. Touchdown, Chapmanville, as they answer right back to tie the game.
If it's not broke, Chris, why fix it? We talked about senior guard Dawson Aggins. He led the charge there once again. We've seen it all year long, more of the same from the Tigers, and with their very steady point-after team, their whole special teams play, they got a chance right here to take the lead with a kick.
Guys, something to keep an eye on. Just then, the lineman picked Kovac up in celebration. Kovac come down. A little odd, was limping, so something to keep an eye on there with Kovac there.
I don't think we want to do Kovac with the dirty dancing moves tonight and let him land softly.
No. Extra point up and through for Farrell, and Chapmanville takes the lead 7-6 with 7:54 left in the opening quarter. Back after this as you're watching high school football playoff action here on the D&D Sports Network.
If you got a big job to get done, don't just trust any flagging service. Call Diamond Flagging Service. Diamond Flagging Service keeps your community safe while also making sure it stays moving. Give Diamond Flagging Service a call today for their services. They also offer amazing job opportunities. Diamond Flagging Services, proud supporter of the Mountain Athletes.
back here in Lewisburg. Greenbrier East trails Chapmanville 7-6 thanks to a Preston Kovac touchdown. Chris Kidd, Dwayne Williams, Darryl McCoy on the call.
Now Chapmanville set to kick off, and after last kickoff to start the game, Settle took it back for a touchdown. I'd say you'll see them kick away from him right here as McClanahan will squib it short, goes towards the Chapmanville sideline and will get out of bounds. And I'd say Chapmanville will take that after the last kickoff return.
They will definitely take that from the first kickoff. We haven't seen any adversity at all, especially on the special team crew. And, they did the complete opposite there. Unfortunately, went out of bounds, but they will give up those yardage.
Guys, let's take a second to look at the Jim Marsh Service comment section. Bobby Rake says, Tiger, Tiger, Tiger. Jack Blevin says, way to go, 22, great run. Jody Stalling says, let's go John Farrell, good luck. Tina Church says, who's winning? Chapmanville is. And we got Chris Pfizer says, running back down.
Now, it looks like Greenbrier East is going to elect to decline that penalty, and they want Chapmanville to re-kick right here. And I'm actually surprised you don't see more teams do that and decline the penalty and force the other team to kick off to one of your dangerous return men.
I like it, Chris, because it also adds a mental aspect to that. It's like, you know what, we can do better than the 40. Mm-hmm. That has to be in the back of the minds here of the coverage team from the Tigers. They had great coverage all season. Let's see how they do with this one.
McClanahan's got a huge leg. He'll squib it short again towards the sideline, picked up by Greenbrier East this time out along the 40, and not a whole lot there for Caden Stone as he'll be taken down at about the 43.
They did gain 4 yards, so it did come out there a plus for them. We'll see how their offense looks. We haven't even got a chance to see the offense yet. 7:50 left in the first. So, the quarterback all year long has been considered, efficient. Great quarterback, put up some good numbers, but we'll see the first snaps here in playoff action.
And again, Brody Hamrick, he's 6'3", big kid. He can do a lot back there with his legs and his arms. Again, James Barker, the offensive coordinator, asked him today, what do they like to do mostly? He says they're about 50-50. He said they're really balanced. So on first down, Hamrick throws near side, completes it to Suttle, and he's brought down after a short gain. Nice job coming up to make the stop for the Tigers as number 66, David Browning, makes the stop.
Nate Suttle's been very busy immediately. He had the kickoff return. Immediately look at him, so obviously he's a weapon they rely on quite a bit.
David Browning just picked a visit up to West Virginia State. So I think there's a couple Tigers did, correct?
Yep.
Yeah. So if he can get up early enough tomorrow, he'll be back over in Charleston for that visit. It's Hamrick on second and 8 rather, hands it off, running into the line, now bouncing it to the outside, but still not a lot there as A.J. Godfrey, the senior, picks up maybe a yard or two, but it's going to bring up third down now for the Spartans.
The Greenbrier East fans are obviously happy to see him back in the lineup. Was off last week due to an injury, saving him for the playoffs, and as you can see, looks good out of the gate.
It'll be 3rd and 6 officially here at the 48-yard line with 6:50 to go in the first quarter. 7-6, Chapmanville leads it. Hammer claps for the ball. He'll drop the throw, looking over the middle. Pass tipped at the line of scrimmage and incomplete. Great job by Chapmanville getting their hands up, as it may have been Topping. It got a piece of that.
It looked like either Topping or possibly Browning there. Couldn't see, but that we've seen that push from this defensive line all season long. Coached up very well. When your defensive line can't get there, put those hands up, get in the passing lanes. They were going for that quick slant inside. They had a lot of room over here. We're giving a lot of cushion to the slot receiver over here, but he did run a slant. Great job at defensive line to get that push that allowed them to get the deflection.
Greenbrier East is going to go for it here on 4th and 6, our first big moment of the opening quarter. They send a man in motion. Godfrey comes down. Hamrick finds a lane, takes it to the outside. He'll get the first down and more inside the 45 and out of bounds along the Chapmanville sideline.
Nice play by Hamrick. He gets out there in one-on-one in space with Jeremy Collins, who's a very solid tackler, and he puts a move on him, easily gets the first down. A big first down, a big first drive for Greenbrier East. We talked about Chapmanville handling any kind of adversity. We saw it on the opening kickoff, and now we're seeing multiple first downs. I mean, this defense has been so dominant this season, we haven't even seen any prolonged drives.
Yeah, and tell you what, that was one area that a lot of Chapmanville players and coaches were concerned with Hamrick and his legs. They were like, if he took off more, he could be even more dangerous, and they were surprised he hasn't run as much as he could have potentially this year. So we'll see if that's something they go to a lot more, as Godfrey picks up maybe 2 yards down to the 39. But, I mean, you saw how quick Hamrick is right there. So, I mean, they don't have a whole lot of designed runs or anything from what Chapmanville saw. So it'll be interesting to see if they go to that a little bit more.
And it might be a case of saving some stuff for the playoffs. You know, you don't have it on film. They can't scout against it. And we can see immediately how talented he is. And already we see the different formations, different types of plays from Greenbrier. So they are very, very balanced in what they do.
So it'll be 2nd down and 8 now for the Spartans at the Chapmanville 39-yard line. Hamrick drops to throw, looks over the middle, hesitates now. He looks to take off, gets the outside, but he gets tripped up and brought down around the line of scrimmage. Great job on the outside that time. Tripping him up was 64 initially, Josh Porter.
Josh Porter's been a beast all season. He leads the team in tackles. You know, he was there to get him from behind, and if he gets past that first wave, he had a big run on the outside. There was a lot of action, you know, near side to us here with this trips action, little swing. He was looking for that. Great coverage by the Chapmanville secondary, and a great job for that defensive front to keep it a minimal gain.
Guys, tell me you're from the mountains without telling me you're from the mountains. Jordan McLeod says, watching from Apollo Beach, Florida, inside a tractor. Let's go Chapmanville.
As Hamrick releases over the middle, he finds Suttle, and that'll be enough for a first down as he's brought down by Killen. But not before Suttle gets to about the 26-yard line and a pickup of 13.
We see that connection already with Suttle. That is the quick slant they tried to run on when Chapmanville got the deflection. That was very good, and that wasn't a very big window in that zone in the middle. That was a great timing and a great throw. They are marching down the field, and they are in the red zone looking to add to their scoreboard.
And again, this is a very senior-laden Greenbrier East team. A lot of their position players and linemen for their 5 offensive linemen are all seniors, as Godfrey once again can't find a whole lot of area to run into as he's brought down after a gain of about 2 at the 25.
Jackson Topping and company right there to stop him. You know, that was another kid. You talked about some visits there, Darryl. Jackson Topping's picking up a lot of, a lot of positivity out there on the recruiting scene, and I'm glad to see him getting some more visits coming up this weekend. So, you know, he's led this, as a junior, he's the leader on both sides of the ball. So they need a strong stand from him and the rest of the Tigers to keep this team out of the end zone.
So 2nd and 8 at the Chapmanville 25. As Hamrick out of the shotgun, gives it off, keeps it, fires over the middle and incomplete as Chapmanville bottled that up well that time as they tried to find the middle of the field once again, but Adkins and Ward both in coverage.
Nice coverage there, and that's something we haven't seen all season, that he had plenty of time to throw. The play action bought him some time there possibly. He stands in the pocket, and thankfully the defense there and the coverage made that a tougher throw than what you would initially think with that much time.
And that was intended for Grant Burdett, one of the seniors on this roster. And now it'll be 3rd down and 8. They need the 17 of Chapmanville. Hamrick will drop the throw. One-on-one on the outside, goes that way to Stone, and did he hang on? Yes, he did. And they say, was he in or not? And it looks like they're going to mark him at the 1-yard line.
But guys, let's take a look at that and see exactly where he was at. Out there, it was mighty close, guys. It looked like to me he got a foot down, but I don't know about 2.
It was very, very close. Nice ball there by the quarterback, put it where his guy could get it. As long as he gets that one in, he's good to go. I couldn't really see. I didn't know if the hill touched down, but what a ball there.
Yeah, that was good coverage by Ward. Just a better catch by Stone as they go up the middle to Godfrey, and Greenbrier East answers right back as they reclaim the lead, 12-7.
2 possessions, 2 scores. I'm not sure how many people had that in their predictions. I know I didn't to start off the game, but Chapmanville, they answered like the first time. Let's see what they do this time. But a very, very impressive drive by Greenbrier East.
Yeah, again, they converted a 4th down on that drive, a 3rd down on that drive. Again, Chapmanville put them in some tough spots, but the Spartans able to overcome it. And with 3:32 to go in the first quarter, they reclaim the lead at 12-7. And after they miss their first extra point, they may attempt to go for 2 this time.
Yeah, because they know they're going to have to score. They're not going to keep this Tiger offense down, so they have a feeling it's going to be a high-scoring game like a lot of us did. So, I don't fault that at all. You've got to be aggressive when you're playing an explosive offense, especially with them missing that. Let's see what they draw up. I'm always curious to see how teams at the high school level, do with their two-point conversions. I'm always curious if they've showed it before all season or they have something special they're saving for the playoffs. Always love to see these two-point tries.
The officials put 18 seconds back on the clock now, so 3:50 to go in the first quarter. As they'll operate out of the shotgun with Subtle here. He'll take the direct snap, fakes a throw, takes off with it. He's hit hard at the goal line, and he didn't get in. Great stop by the Tigers as they prevent the two-pointer from getting in and keep this at a 5-point deficit. 12-7, Spartans lead the Tigers. We'll be back right after this as you're watching high school football playoff action here on the D&D Sports Network.
Here at Logan Bank and Trust, we are committed to serving the needs of the Southern coalfields.
For any of your financial needs, we encourage you to stop by one of our 5 convenient locations or apply online today at lbnt.com.
Whether you choose to stop by or visit us online, our team is here to help you every step of the way.
Buying a new home, expanding your business? Choose Logan Bank and Trust. Let's bank together.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
And we are back here in Lewisburg as Greenbrier East leads Chapmanville 12-7 on the Jim Marr service scoreboard. Chris Kidd, Dwayne Williams, Darryl McCoy on the call.
It's been a score fest here thus far. 3 possessions, 3 touchdowns. And Chapmanville gets it back with a chance to try and answer back as that ball just died at the 22. Now here comes Atkins out of the pile, and he just delivers a huge forearm shiver across the 40 at about the 42 as Chapmanville will get good field position.
Nice run by Austin Atkins, and love how he finished that play. Very physical. This game is shaping up to, to be that makings of a heavyweight fight, and, it's very appropriate with tomorrow night with a big fight in Madison Square Garden with JDM and Islam Makhachev. I've been going back and forth with some of the Tiger fans about who he picked. We know I'm going JDM, so we see that already with punch after punch, who's going to counter, who's going to answer. Chapmanville answered the first. See if they can answer the second.
You can tell I'm a big UFC fan. I had no idea who any of those people were.
I always try to give some of the guys a shout out who interact with us and stuff. So that was for my man Jacob there.
Now Dalton out of the shotgun. They'll go with Collins this time. And Collins, nice burst out across the 45 to about the 49-yard line. So the running game has been very effective so far for Chapmanville.
Yeah, they've seen what they've seen on film where they can attack them. And it's more that no matter what the opponent's been this season, we see that line. That time there you see Dawson Atkins and multiple linemen. Jackson topping 5-6 yards down the field. We talked about Collins all year. Coming into last week, he was averaging almost a first down a carry.
It'll be 2nd down and 3. As they'll go empty backfield this time as Atkins went in motion. Dalton rolling out to the far side, looking. Now heaves one deep for Ward. Did he keep a foot in?
Nice catch.
Yes, he did.
Nice
wow.
catch. Nice ball there, too. Dakota Dalton rolling out to his right, and that's a very tough play, ball to place right there. He's not running just straight across the field in an out pattern. He's kind of running a slant all the way across the field, and where he put that ball over the shoulder and way to get his feet in, and I think he got 2 in. He only needed 1, but I think he got 2, drug both feet in there, Chris.
Wow, the Chapmanville fans, they are loud on the opposite side right now. I was curious where all the noise was coming from and lifted up my headset. I was like, well, that's coming all the way across the way right now. So you know how excited those fans are after making that long drive up here. So they give it off to Collins. Collins with another nice hole inside the 20, still fighting forward, and Collins will have a first down inside the 15, a gain of about 13.
Guys, Diane Boggs says she's a 1976 grad from Chapmanville, says go Tigers. David Contreras says watching from Bosemont, Montana, said 1978 Greenbrier East grad. Shane Hall says, crazy what happens when you play someone decent. Easy now with that. Barb Tiller says she's watching. And we also see Raymond Farrell says he's watching from Tip City, Ohio. Go Tigers.
Raymond Farrell knows football. He's a big sports fan. He's an official in the state of Ohio, so glad to hear he's tuning in. And that's my brother-in-law, so I'll give him a big shout out.
There you go.
As Atkins got the handoff that time for a gain of about 4. It'll be 2nd and 6. Well, I'll tell you what, he's going to look very prophetic or very foolish in a couple of hours, depending on how this turns out.
Well, he didn't make the prediction. He came in after that, so he just gave a shout-out.
That's fair. That's fair. But it'll be 2nd down and 6 now as we close in on 2 minutes to go in the first quarter. Chapmanville will go empty again here with 2 receivers to each side. As Atkins has to get up on the line of scrimmage. Dalton will roll to the far side, looking, running out of space. He'll take off with it now, and Dalton could be close to the first down as the yard marker personnel had to dive out of the way.
That was another example of the composure of Dakota Dalton there. He looks over and he sees Atkins not on the line. He motions him to get on the line to avoid the illegal procedure penalty there. You know, that's just an example. You don't see that very often from a second-year starter, only a sophomore. So nice play there. You've got to know the adrenaline's fired up right there, being in the red zone, trying to answer. Still has the wherewithal to get his guys on the line. The basics are definitely covered by Dakota Dalton.
Yeah, and right there he didn't force a pass. He just took what the defense could give him, pick up a couple of yards, and try and fight for the next down as it'll be 3rd and 3. They tried to give it off to Adkins but couldn't complete the handoff, and Dalton just has to fall on it back at the 12-yard line. And now what do you do if you're Chapmanville? Again, McClanahan's been a pretty reliable field goal kicker this year, but what kind of game are you in? Is this going to be a back-and-forth score fest? It looks like Chapmanville feels that way, and they're going to go.
Yeah, they are, and that's actually a big decision. That's maybe the toughest decision for Coach Belcher all season long, because when you have a solid kicker like McClanahan, you're looking at 3 points, cuts it down to a 2-point lead. But he knows he trusts his offense. He's trusted them all year, and he's going to roll with them right here, like the call.
4th down and 8 for Chapmanville. They need the 4-yard line. Dalton throws in the flat, completes it to Adkins. Adkins slips a tackle, and he's into the end zone. Chapmanville back in front, 13-12.
And that's why you trust your offense. You got a quarterback who you can trust. You have a senior wide receiver out here making plays. He's right in the spot he needs to be, breaks a few tackles, touchdown Tigers. Not an easy throw. It's not a far throw, but anytime, we've talked about it multiple times this season, anytime a right-handed quarterback is rolling left, you got to turn your shoulders, turn your hips, make an accurate throw. Well done by the Tigers offense.
And again, you can see they're starting to get some one-on-one opportunities with Atkins, and that's kind of the second time that seems like Greenbrier East has fallen asleep when guarding him right around the line of scrimmage, as the extra point for Farrell is up and through, and Chapmanville leads at 14-12 with 1:06 left in the first. Back after this as you're watching high school football playoff action here on the D&D Sports Network.
Stop by Treasures Unlimited, located in the old Highland Myers building in Kermit, West Virginia. They have a little bit of everything: tents, TVs, furniture, bikes, bins. Whatever you need, they have you at Treasures Unlimited. They also want to say, Go Panthers!
Back here in Lewisburg, West Virginia, as we got Chapmanville leading Greenbrier East 14-12 with Dwayne Williams and Chris Kidd.
Squib kick by McClanahan will come down at about the 29, returned out across the 35-yard line to about the 37. Looked to be DP Seams that had the return that time, and now Greenbrier with their chance to try and answer, as both teams just throwing haymakers here in the first quarter.
Yeah, we've questioned Chapmanville's ability to stand up to being punched in the mouth, a little bit of adversity. They've answered the call so far. Let's see how Greenbrier East handles it, because what better way to start a game with a kickoff return for a touchdown, followed up with a long touchdown drive, and like the Tigers won't go away. So let's see how they respond.
And both teams able to convert 4th down plays on their last scoring drives. He's hammered. hand it off to Godfrey, trying to get to the edge, but he's not going to get there as he's swallowed up by Collins and brought down for a 3-yard loss. And that's what this Chapmanville defense has been so good at all year, is stopping the run.
Yeah, they're so disciplined in their setting the edge, in their angles. We talked about what a great job Andy Bender, the DC, has done all season long. You know, we don't see Collins miss tackles hardly ever. He missed one earlier in the game. That one, perfect form tackle, put him down for a loss. They got him behind the sticks.
Guys, Jerry Smith says Coach Jerry Smith, an NBA referee retired, is watching from the Philippines with his 11-year-old son and 6-year-old daughter, and is happily married. He's living a good life fighting for the Gamecocks in the Philippines, wishing the Tigers best of luck.
Oh, almost a broken play there as Green nearly got free, as that was a quick little quarterback or wide receiver screen to the outside, and Green able to get it out across the 45 to the 46. Big play after that 3-yard loss.
Yeah, definitely gets it back to third and manageable. They got out there very quick. Looks like we got a timeout.
Yeah,
Into the first.
Into the first quarter, and what fireworks we had, 14-12. Chapmanville leads it. We'll be back for the start of the second quarter right after this, as you're watching high school football playoff action on the D&D Sports Network.
Come on down to Ultimate Pond, located in Kermit, West Virginia, where we have all your firearm needs. Need cash? Trade in your gold today. From custom rifles and rifles accessories to the bare bone stock of pistols, we have it all. Come see us today at Ultimate Pond.
If you're looking for a friendly and fun atmosphere to enjoy your daily cuisine, come to Cheech's Pizza in Lenore, West Virginia. Cheech's Pizza has world-renowned cheese sticks, delicious pizza, and the best subs in the pizza and pasta game. Don't forget to take advantage of our milkshake shop located inside. Bring your family down to meet ours. We are the place that treats you like family from the second you pull in the parking lot. We look forward to seeing you here at Cheech's Pizza.
And we are back here, guys, starting the second quarter. Chris Kidd, Dwain Williams, after a quick in-between quarters break there, it's Chapmanville 14, Greenbrier East 12.
Gage Blevins, the big offensive lineman, got the carry that time for the Spartans on 3rd and 3, and that'll be enough for a first down.
Shows you the Spartans, they are going to their bag of tricks already. I don't know if Chapmanville was ready or have seen that one, but they're changing their tempos up. They're throwing a little bit of everything out there at the Tiger defense.
Yeah, because we've seen Chapmanville be able to make great adjustments defensively throughout the year, but Greenbrier East done a good job of staying balanced so far as they get it to Suttle on the outside, and Suttle will pick up a nice gain, and flags come flying in everywhere. This could be a face mask.
Yeah, because it definitely wasn't late, so probably a face mask. But Suttle is getting open. When he's running these crossing routes, he's got that quick speed. He's getting out of his breaks very quick, and he's obviously their number one target that we see so far this game. So Chapmanville's going to have to make an adjustment to slow him down, whether they want to. I haven't seen him press much at all this year, but
Personal foul, face mask, defense, number 2.
Yep, called that, Chris.
So they get Keegan Craddock on the face mask. And so both teams now have committed a personal foul in this game.
It's going to be, sorry, Chris, it's going to be interesting to see which team can come up with a red zone stop in this game. So far these teams having no trouble in scoring. So let's see how they react to the different scenarios they're in. And, you know, here on our side right here, we see Evan Witt down here in single coverage.
And again, having to cover up Green and Suttle has been a difficult task so far for this Chapmanville secondary, as they'll give it off to Godfrey, and Godfrey met immediately and driven to the ground. What a tackle by Josh Porter.
He's been doing it all year. He's averaging about 8 tackles a game. He's a disruptor. He's a menace. He lives in the backfield, and that shows you why he leads this team in tackles.
No, he did. He just busted through the line of scrimmage immediately and met Godfrey head on and caused him to lose a yard on that carry. So it'll be 2nd down and 11 now. And this is where Greenbrier East has been good so far. They've been able to get out of 2nd and long, make it 3rd and manageable, 3rd and short, over and over again.
Yeah, they don't go for it all in one play. They just try to keep the chains moving a little as they can.
So Hamrick will drop to throw, has time over the middle, and somehow caught by Green as he's brought down about a yard shy of the first down. And Evan Witt had good coverage there. Looked like he almost gambled and went for the interception, and that ball somehow got through to Green.
Yeah, that ball had some smoke on it, Chris. If that ball would have tailed off at all, that would have been a pick, but a very nice ball against pretty good coverage, and the Spartans are rolling.
Now it'll be 3rd and 1 after that 10-yard gain. So once again, Spartans able to get out of a 2nd and long, create a 3rd and short here. As Hamrick hands it off to Godfrey, runs into the line, and this could be all about the spot as he was right at the yard marker, but it looked like he was a little short of it, and it looks like that's what the spot's going to be as well.
Yeah, we see the linebackers creeping up really close right there. They got to be careful because if the Greenbrier East coaches are seeing this, we got to look for a little play action here, possibly because right now the linebackers for the Tigers are creeping ever so closer to that line of scrimmage.
Again, 9:37 to go here in the first half. Chapmanville leads at 14-12 here in the first round of the playoffs. Greenbrier East converted a 4th down on their last drive before going in. Can they do it again here? It's Hamrick. They go with a direct snap up front, and they're going to get the 1st down. And wow, what a call right there as they just gave it to one of their quick hitters who was going in motion that time. It looks to be Burdett that took the snap, and he'll get enough to move the chains.
That's a very nice play call. He's come in motion a few times, and he's stopped in that area behind the guard for some extra pass protection. He gets in behind the center, takes a snap, very quick 1st down. Very nice play call by the Spartans.
So that'll reset the chains now. 1st and 10 for the Spartans at the 14 of Chapmanville. Hamrick looks to throw, fires on the slant, and knocked away that time. That ball was a little bit behind and gave Wesley Watts a chance to close in and knock it away.
Nice play by the senior Wesley Watts to get his hand in there to knock it away. I was about to say before the snap, I didn't want to step on you like I've already done twice tonight. I guess I'm fired up for the playoffs. But
we're good.
They had 3 to the top against 2 defenders. They're looking for matchups, and Chapmanville really avoided disaster right there because they had 3 receivers up top with only 2 defenders.
Now they'll go with a similar alignment here. 3 receivers up top, 1 to the bottom. As Hamrick looks for the one-on-one matchup. He's got a man, Green, and he makes the leaping grab. And touchdown, Spartans. It is 5 drives, 5 touchdowns between these two so far.
I spoke about it a few plays ago, Chris. He was down here all alone. They've got him singled up on a very good defender. Evan Witt is a top-notch defender, but I saw that in their formations. They're looking for that one-on-one formation. They got the matchup they were looking for, and that was not an easy throw and catch. A very nice ball by Hamrick.
Yeah, and that's like I said, he's giving up a lot of size to Witt, too. Again, he's 5'7". I believe Witt's over 6 foot.
Yes.
And that was just a good thrown ball and great leap there by Green to go up and get it.
Great defense by Evan Witt, but just a better throw. Sometimes you can't defend a perfect throw.
Now the Spartans will go for 2 again. Again, they missed their first extra point, then did not convert on the 2-point conversion last time. Suttle will be in again. This one's a bad snap all the way back to the 20. Suttle picks it up. He's got a little bit of a lane to the outside, but he's going to get caught. Now throws it up for grabs and taken away by Chapmanville. And now the Spartans, they continue to chase points, and they are 0 for 3 on conversions here tonight. But they do lead at 18-14 with 8:52 to go in the half. Back after this as you're watching high school football playoff action on the D&D Sports Network.
And we are back here in Lewisburg as Greenbrier East goes up 18-14 on the Jim Mar Service scoreboard over the Chapmanville Tigers. Chris Kidd, Dwayne Williams, Darryl McCoy on the call.
This kick will get deep to about the 10-yard line, fielded there by Ward. Ward, one of the most dangerous return men in the state of West Virginia, out across the 30-35. Boy, he put on some little shimmies and shakes and Michael Jackson jump moves there in order to try and get free, and he'll get it out to about the 35, 36.
For you folks that don't know Trey Ward, he is the state 200-meter state champ. And, I was talking to him about playing basketball, and Trey said that he wasn't going to play basketball because his goal is to break the state record in the 100 and 200. He said that's what he's going to be focusing on this spring.
And he has that ability.
Yes, he does.
And like we talked about in previous broadcasts, he's starting to get looks from colleges as well. Had a visit to Marshall last week along with several other Tigers. So he's starting to get his due a lot more as his numbers continue to creep up all year long as they go to Atkins on the outside. What a move by him again into open field across midfield. And Austin Atkins, another nice gainer for him as he gets 15 yards.
Nice play call there by the Tigers. The ball's put right on target. Austin Atkins, he has that confidence. He told us a few weeks back he don't think anybody can guard him one-on-one, and I actually agree with that. But you also see he can make some moves in traffic. Nice job by the entire offensive line. Down the field blocking. Great first play call on this drive.
And we mentioned he did not have a touchdown in the first 7 games of this season, and ever since the Logan game on into Mingo Central, St. Albans, and even tonight, he's had a touchdown each of the last 4 games. As they give it off to Collins. Collins rumbles down inside the 45 to about the 43-yard line. Pickup of close to 6. And again, we haven't seen Kovac since that opening drive, so you kind of wonder if he's re-aggravated that injury again.
I was just about to say that. I actually got a text from Kevin Atkins talking about the landing on the celebration didn't look good. Darryl pointed that out earlier, and we haven't seen him back, so we got to hope that something like that didn't re-aggravate an injury, but we have not seen him since.
Guys, real quick, Sarah Williams says, push them back, Tigers, let's go. Randy Adams says, come on, boys, bring home win number 1 home tonight. Said go Tigers. And Mingo Central leads James Monroe 17-14.
So we got another shootout over in that game in another 8-9 matchup as Dalton pulls it down, keeps it himself. Here he goes to the outside to the 30, the 25, and a flag comes in back at about the 37-yard line. So some of this may be coming back. Well, let's see what the marker is.
Unfortunate, that looks like it's coming back with the Tigers walking that direction. And even though it's not going to count, looks like what a way to finish that play by Dakota Dalton. We've seen him throw the ball, but he's such a physical runner. He was stiff-arming the cornerback on that side of the field. Great decision to pull that ball and take it from the outside, because if he hadn't, that would have been of loss. So unfortunately, looks like it might be stepped off.
Holding. Offense, number 53. 10-yard penalty. Go second down.
They do call holding on Chapmanville, and they won't lose all of that run, but it'll bring it back to about 2nd down and 8 now for the Tigers. And if nothing else, that does force Greenbrier East to start honoring that in case Dalton pulls it down again, takes off. It can at least open up those running lanes a little bit more.
Yeah, just plants that seed of doubt to their linebackers, what they're seeing in the backfield. Dakota does a great job. I've noticed him every single play. When he does hand the ball off, he finishes the fake throwing motion. He also fakes rolling out.
2nd and 8, they go up high for Benji Adkins, and he makes the grab. The big man rumbling down inside the 25, carrying everyone. Is that Mark Bavaro? Or is that Benji Adkins?
I think it's Baby Gronk, the real Baby Gronk, not the kid online. I've been looking for this play. I was about to talk to you about it a second ago when we took a break, but I love the play action, little dart over top of the lineman to the very, very skilled Benji Atkins at tight end. He's got the best hands on the team, I think. We've seen him in basketball action. I think we'll see that play many more times in this game.
Wow, and again, we've talked about that play. It's been so successful this year, and they've executed it. And Atkins, big gainer there as they give it off to Collins, gets away from the first would-be tackler and fights his way down close to the 15. It looks like he'll be just shy of the 15, but a gain of about 6, maybe even 7.
I got to tell you, Chris, we D&D Sports, we always want to focus on the offensive and defensive line being the unsung heroes on any football team. And the battle going on in the trenches right now is excellent on both sides.
Looks like a timeout going to be called here by Greenbrier East, as that'll be the first timeout used on either side here in the first half. So we want to keep things here for right now, as I believe Darryl maybe has some more shout-outs he wants to get to, and we'll give it to him to run through some of our audience members here tonight.
Yeah, trying to figure out Mingo Central game, guys. We'll be back up shortly. They're having some issues over there, so make sure that you hold on They'll be back here in just a second. But, guys, as you're sitting here, a lot of people tuning in tonight's matchup as I'm trying to make sure that we are still live.
We have a grade 4 truck in the parking lot
Here.
with your lights on. License plate number
And
224-049A.
I don't know that we are.
Yeah, it looks like I just got a post from someone said they lost the feed.
Yep.
Or lost the post.